Good morning from SHI Stadium, home of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and also home of today's game between Rutgers and Ohio State. Buckeyes will be kicking off at noon against the Scarlet Knights. We have news though. The availability report is out, and once again, as per tradition, there's a name on there that we were not necessarily expecting.
No, for sure not. Denzel Burke, Ohio State starting cornerback, just named a Thorpe Award semifinalist this past week, is on the list as unavailable, and he missed the Penn State game, was back against Wisconsin, and now for who knows what reason is out this week as well.
Well, and we don't know the why right now. That was not a name that we had heard earlier in the week. It was not a name that Ryan Day had talked about even when the team arrived on Friday. There was a name we heard on Friday, and we'll get to that in a minute, but this could very well just be a precautionary thing. Rutgers is a far improved team from what they have been in previous years. They're 6-2, but they're not a super explosive passing attack. So if you were going to be playing it cautious with an important player, with the Michigan game 3 weeks off at this point, and you wanted to sort of just play it safe, this is a game that you might say, like, you know, you've got the depth at the corner position. The rest of the corner position, the depth is pretty healthy. You might just sort of be playing it safe here.
Yeah, that was my initial thought as well. Like, the passing game for Rutgers is not their strength, so if you're going to leave somebody home, this might be the time to do it. But it does change some things with how they're going to do it because of somebody who else is out.
Yeah, and the other person who we did know was going to be out was Lathan Ransom. He did not make the trip. Ryan Day told us that Friday night when the team arrived in New Jersey. That's one that is not necessarily just a precautionary thing. I think the sense there, broadly speaking, is that might be a multi-week thing. And then the question is, okay, is that a 2-week thing, or is that a 4+ week thing that's going to impact the Michigan game and possibly beyond? So we don't have specifics on that, and I don't know that Ohio State necessarily knows, like, this is definitely going to be much longer or not as long or whatever. That was another one that Ryan Day said earlier in the week. You know, I got to kind of see. They were going to see a little later on in the week. Just the way he talked about it, though, you didn't get the sense that the question was this week or next week. I think the question was more like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, you know, what?
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't get into it, he said he would know more, but then once he knew more, he didn't tell us anymore. Yeah. But the tone really never changed in terms of, oh, no, hopefully we'll get him back. There's like, no, hopefully we'll get him back next week, or that he's had in previous weeks with almost everybody else in terms of when Denzel Burke was out initially, hopefully we'll get him back. Emeka Egbuka for the last 2 weeks, hopefully we'll get him back, that sort of thing. He hasn't really gotten that hopeful, but again, he's not also told us any type of extent to how long to expect him to be out.
Just to run through the rest of the names on the list, so we've got Denzel Burke, we've got Lathan Ransom. The other names on there, Keon Grays, wide receiver, out. He's been out pretty much all year. Freshman defensive tackle Jason Moore, he's out. Tight end Joe Royer is out, and running back Mayan Williams, he's out for the year. We knew that last week. So that's the list of guys who are out now. One name I didn't say there was Emeka Egbuka. Now, he was also not listed on this report last week and didn't play. You figure, I mean, it's relatively warm. It's supposed to be in the high 50s during the game today. He didn't play last week at Wisconsin. He's had another week to sort of heal up. It's a little warmer. It's not going to be wet. It's not going to be cold and windy. It feels like, obviously we didn't see him last week. It feels like there's a better chance, sort of self-evidently, but there's a better chance that we'll see him potentially in some form today.
Yeah, he's missed the last 3 games, but when we talked to Ryan Day when the team arrived on Friday, it was more of a it's good to get him back type of thing, rather than hopefully we'll have him out there on Saturday. The reading between the lines that you kind of have to do. So, just talking to the players all week, they were excited. Marvin Harrison said, I can't wait to have him back. Just speaking as if it was going to happen, but then they would also throw in if it happens. So it's like they know how the past couple of weeks have gone where, yes, I'm excited to have him back, but coaches may want to hold him out one more week. They don't exactly know how they're going to, the training staff and the coaches, what they're going to say, but I am expecting him to play because these are pretty good conditions.
Yeah, this is about, it's New Jersey, it's November. I have been here plenty of times when it has been snowing in New Jersey in November. It is definitely not doing that. It is warm. It is, at least sort of partly sunny, partly overcast, but no rain in the forecast, no real wind in the forecast, no snow in the forecast. This is about as good as you're going to get in this part of the country this time of year. So, yeah, I am sort of expecting that we're more likely to see Mega Ibuka this week, but we'll see. Now, the question is, okay, without Denzel Burke, without Lathan Ransom, how does that shift things in the secondary? Because we had sort of, mentally manipulated all this stuff around in our heads earlier in the week to sort of figure out, okay, no Lathan Ransom, what does that mean? Now you shift Denzel Burke, it feels like that might mean, and now you're throwing a true freshman corner out there.
Yeah, because Jordan Hancock was going to be taking over in the slot entirely, with Sonny Styles taking over for Lathan Ransom at strong safety. So you'll have Sonny Styles back at strong safety in place of Lathan Ransom for the entire game, which means no Sonny Styles at nickel, switching on and off with Jordan Hancock on passing and running down. So I'm expecting kind of what we saw maybe against Penn State, where Jordan Hancock starts out at outside, and then on passing downs moves inside, and Jermaine Matthews, as you said, the true freshman, comes in and plays outside. But I won't be entirely shocked if they just go straight nickel and have Jermaine Matthews starting the game outside and Jordan Hancock starting inside. But again, this isn't necessarily a passing offense where you need to focus on the nickel defense, which means then if you're facing a running offense like they are, do you start three linebackers? Because normally your three linebackers, Sonny would be the Sam. Mm-hmm. Here, the Sam might end up being Cody Simon, playing with Tommy Eichenberg and Steel Chambers.
And Cody Simon, we have seen in the past, when the Rutgers teams that Ohio State has faced have not been as good. You have seen Ohio State come to New Jersey and say, New Jersey natives, congratulations, you're starting, you're in your home state. This is no longer as like free space on the bingo card as previous trips to Rutgers have been. This is a decent Rutgers team. Cody Simon is a Jersey City, New Jersey native that is only like 30 minutes or so. Well, everything's relative. Depends on what time of day you're going, but we'll say 30 minutes or so from Piscataway. I'm sure he will have a lot of friends and family here. So you have that. You have the stylistically, this is more likely to be a quarterback run rather than quarterback throw type offense. So I think there's a real possibility you're going to see at least extended run for Cody Simon, and they might want to see what it looks like, depending on how long Lathan Ransom's out. They might want to see, give this a little bit of an extended run with the nickel package, even though you're not necessarily going to be called on to do that schematically. You might still just want to try that and let those guys get reps in those spots.
I kind of agree with that. I think they know what they have in Cody Simon. They know he can do whatever they need him to do. What you'd like to get more of, I guess, would be snaps for Jermaine Matthews to get him ready. Jordan Hancock in that slot handling the running aspect of it, because that's going to be something he's going to have to do if Sonny Styles is at strong safety for an extended period of time. And it sounds like it will be relatively extended. So I'm with you. I think they want to. I think it would be smart to get Jordan Hancock as many reps in the slot against the run as possible, because he's going to be facing, coming up, a Minnesota run team, Michigan run team, aspects of that game, which is going to be similar to here, where you've got to get bigger and you've got to get stronger. And they've had that mentality all season long, brought to them by a New Jersey cornerback, Davison Igbenos, and kind of strengthening the entire unit. And Jordan Hancock being one of the guys who has kind of accepted that mantle as well. And as we've seen him throughout the weeks this season, a physical guy, more than happy to get into the mix. A gaps, B gaps, it almost doesn't matter with him. He'll just go do it. And so I think he'd be comfortable doing that today.
Yeah, I think there have been previous years where I would have had questions about the physicality of the play of some of Ohio State's defensive backs. You don't really feel like you got a concern about that this year. And this may be a cut them loose kind of game and let them be aggressive. You get, Ohio State has in plenty of previous games here hit 50. I'm certainly not expecting them to get anywhere close to 50 today. But this also was a game where if they get to 24, they're probably winning by double digits. So, you can probably, they could play it safe, but this is Jim Knowles, and this is also something of a homecoming game for Jim Knowles. Philadelphia is only an hour and change away, hour 20 from here. So I'm sure Jim Knowles will have some Philly family here. He might want to show off some of his fun and creative thoughts as well.
I was also thinking the way Steel Chambers has been in and out of the lineup with Cody Simon. What if they go three linebackers, but sometimes they bring C.J. Hicks in?
You could say. If this is a multi-score game. If this is, I picked 27-6. If this is a 3-touchdown game in the fourth quarter, you should let, because you're not in that much danger of getting hit over the top. So it can be a little bit more see ball, get ball kind of defense, where you maybe trust more of your linebackers, and it's just a matter of get to the right spot, be in the right gap, more than run, pass, conflict, and that kind of stuff.
I'm also interested to see how Sonny Styles does as the deep safety, as one of the deep safeties, because we just assume he'll be fine, but it kind of undersells how well Lathan Ransom has played this year. So if there are any big hits and they come from that direction, then maybe people will be appreciating Lathan Ransom even more and wondering, hey, when's he getting back?
Yeah, Lathan Ransom feels like he's one of those guys who this year you haven't heard his name all that much. Like, he's made some play. He had a big play in the backfield during the Wisconsin game, like when Wisconsin was way backed up towards the student section. Lathan Ransom had a nice play in the backfield for a tackle for loss. But safeties, a lot of times when you notice safeties, it's bad news. It's like, oh, there's the back of that guy's jersey chasing some dude 60 yards down the field. You saw that a couple times with Lathan Ransom last year. You really haven't seen it this year. And the safety play out of Ransom, who's not playing today again, but Styles, Proctor, Jordan Hancock in that nickel, the slot safety kind of role, the safety play has been so much better this year. And with as important as the safeties are to what Jim Knowles wants to do, that feels like that's been one of the things that's really driven this defense this year.
Well, Tom, it is a safety-driven defense.
Big if true. So we'll be back after the game with our usual post-game coverage. If you're wondering, hey, why aren't they talking about Michigan? Well, we talked about Michigan for like 2 hours late last night after news broke. New developments in the Michigan story, shall we say. The tone of the coverage from Ann Arbor has changed quite a bit. So we did a 2-hour breakdown last night from our hotel in terms of what the news was, what it means, what it could be happening next. You can find that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Buckeye Huddle. You'll also be able to find our post-game show at youtube.com/Buckeye Huddle. We'll be back here after the game with our usual post-game analysis right as soon as that clock hits 0. Post-game analysis from Mark and some of our X's and O's guys, interviews with Ohio State head coach Ryan Day and some of the players, and then Tony and I will be back after that for a Buckeye Weekly Instant Reaction podcast. So you can find that all at youtube.com/Buckeye Huddle. If you are not subscribed, if you are not getting notified, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell so you get notified when we go live and all that stuff. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video and all the other videos you watch on this channel. That helps other folks find the shows. We don't really know how, but it does. So whatever, you have to take that up with Google. But we appreciate all of that stuff. You do all that stuff, and we will see you guys after the game.